Thank you. Dear friends, it's such a pleasure to be part of this August gathering. திரைகடலோடியும் திரவியம் தேடு என்று சொன்ன ஆதித்தமிழனின் குலத் தோன்றர்கள் இன்று உலகம் முழுவதும் 9.81 கோடி தமிழர்கள். They all around the world, 155 countries is what have been mapped as to having the Tamil population. And I think if you have to distill out the DNA of Tamil, I think one of the highest would be business, trade and industry. I think it's part of our DNA. Achievements galore have been happening in both the non-resident Tamil community and the Tamil Nadu-based entrepreneurs. So I'm going to confine my speech to only about 5 minutes to integrate some of the ideas which have come in the forum, adding a bit of my own experience in the 28 years of being in business. I'm a fairly late entrant into politics, and I think around 2000 or 99 to 2001, there were some fundamental changes which have happened in the world around us. I mean, one thinker called Thomas Friedman captured it very nicely in a book called The World is Flat. The world which till then was round, if overnight it just becomes flat. That kind of an impact, according to Thomas Friedman, got created by 10 things which happened around the world, starting with the fall of the wall, the Berlin Wall, ending with the idea of outsourcing, wading through the technological movements like the internet discovery. There are 10 things which, according to Friedman, really changed the world. And I think it had huge implications for the way business happens around the world. You know, if I were to gist out the many changes which have been going through, like for instance, someone like me who started a company with 60,000 rupees, the son of a worker in a match factory, which was what I was. And I could build 1,000 crore business in 14 countries around that time because of the changes that happened in the world around us. You know, if you were to keep ideas on one pan of ஒரு தராசுல ஒரு பக்கம் ஐடியாக்கள் ஒரு பக்கம் செல்வம். If you keep ideas on wealth on the other side, the pan carrying ideas started going down gradually over a 10-year period, and very sharply in the 99 to 2001 phase, where 3 words started assuming different meanings. In fact, every boundary got rewritten at that time. The 3 words I always quote Mr. C.K. Prahalad, a Tamil who went beyond the confines of India and who is the management guru of the last 2 decades in the world. C incidentally is for Coimbatore. And he was one person who studied in a corporation school who kind of ruled the management thought. So people asked him, you know, we saw the agricultural era, we saw the industrial era, we saw the information era. What is the nature of the world around us from 2000? When he answered that, he said, this is the world of give, G-I-V-E. G for governance, I for innovation, V for value, and E for entrepreneurship. This is what he said at that time. And the key word to focus was the word value. You know, value of a company started getting redefined around that time. We all knew about this young man, 26-year-old young man who promoted the company. First year he makes 55 million rupees turnover and loses 5 million rupees. Second year he makes 10 million turnover and loses almost 7 million. And the third year he sells his company and he gets returns of, somebody buys his company for 1,500 crores. If you were to really look at, this wonder happened around 99-2000, and Prahalad refers to it and says, look, the idea of value of a company has phenomenally undergone a change, where the value is equal to scale, scope, and depth. And this is a very important transition. If you really were to look at earlier, value was equal to profits, value was equal to scale, and an integrated concept of value started coming into the management lexicon. And people started feeling it around the world when they talk about the scale as to what is the size of your business, scope, what all does your company do, and depth, which again translates into three kinds of depth: the management bandwidth, the financial depth, and the intellectual property right depth. IPR started becoming very critical. My colleague Dr. Ashok Kumar was saying, he's created a vetiver network. Vetiver is a medicinal plant from India, which apparently has a demand in about 130 countries. And France is one of the largest technology providers for managing vetiver and converting into medicinally bulk druggable kind of formulation, which is what he was telling me. Very interestingly, I think around 2000, the dominance of IPR, intellectual property right, the man Sabir Bhatia I mentioned some time back, was a man who could figure out a way to create an identity for yourself in the cyberspace. And lo and behold, he became a billionaire within 3 years of running his company. Somebody had a need for that technology, that IPR. So the world suddenly shifted from the meaning of value into a very different kind. And the second word, which Prahalad talks about, which assumed a different meaning, was the term called business model. Earlier to that, there were businesses, there were models, but together talking of business model started happening in the late 90s, where people, I remember the first word was coined by a very respected Indian diaspora guy in Singapore, Kishore Mahbubani, who came up with the idea of a business model. His seminal contribution to industry was that, where he talked about, the multiple ways of doing the same business. And depending on the way you do your business, using technology, using social trends, and usually the confluence of the two, you could reimagine your entire business. Like a simple business person like me who was running a recruitment firm, my revenue was only 10 crores. We reconceived the whole thing based on the internet, where we started saying, we will not charge our clients, we will charge the candidates, which is one important change in the business model. And there are many who did that. All of us went into a very different level in our businesses. From 10 crores to move to 1,000 crores. One of the important changes, the change in the business model that we made at that time. So business model as an idea started coming in the late 90s. And the third phrase, according to C.K. Prahalad, was the idea of a venture capital. Where you could have ventures where there is capital without capitalists wanting to take a ownership in the company to run the company. This is a very important concept in the late 90s, where India alone, for instance, in the last 17 years, since 99, has received $17.5 billion of investment through various avatars of venture capital. You have the VC or the mezzanine funding or the private equity. You have named them Series A, Series B, Series C. It was a very important difference where the equation between ideas and wealth started getting redefined. So you don't have to be Tata's grandson or Birla's granddaughter in order to run a company. Very, very important movement. It started around that time. In my view, and in C.K. Prahalad's stated view, the idea of business around the world significantly changed, where there was money chasing ideas, and it's not the other way. So the races which will flourish, the races, whether it's Tamils or Jews or Telugus or any of those, or Indians or South Africans, the ones which will flourish are the ones which are able to build institutions of governance, institutions of defense, institutions of education, and of course, institutions of economy. The book ends with this very Sachin statement. So if you're able to build institutions, like our friend from Singapore was talking about a mechanism to fund infrastructure finance. There are people today, for instance, the BRICS Bank, which is really an institutional mechanism to support large infrastructure projects. The idea of one belt, one road is really a way to build a mechanism. Okay, it maybe have political connotations, but the fact is it's really a concept. Today, it's a world of concepts, it's a world of institutions. And the invitation I like to extend to all of you is, can we rediscover the DNA of business, which is ingrained in every Tamil soul? And wherever you are, whether you are one of the 1.31 crores of Tamils who live in these 155 countries other than India, or if you are the 8 crores plus Tamils who live in Tamil Nadu or elsewhere in India, irrespective of where you live, I think there's a certain cultural connect, there's a certain identity which links all of us. And that identity has many components. One of the key components in that is the one which drove the guys of our ancestry to say, Yadumure Avarum Kelir, and to say, Terehadal Odium Therabiyam Thedu. And in these days of tumult, they have, in these day business schools, they have a term called UKA economy, where V is for volatile, U is for uncertain, C is for complex, and A is really for agile. Agile in the sense that the responses that you need in this economy are very agile responses that you need to make. And what's better than holding hands together based on a common identity? The overseas Chinese are the ones who built China to what the economy powerhouse that it is today. Chinese may not be recognizing that, but the world recognizes that. It's the cultural ties that the overseas Chinese had, the huge cultural ties with which money came back, investments came back, and they were in different companies, but they were able to leverage those organizations to come back to China. And China has about 4.5 crores of people who live outside China, the Chinese who are living outside China, while India, we have close to 2.5 crores of people, Indians, who live outside India. And out of that, 52% are of Tamil origin. Keep in mind, if you look at the overseas Indians of different kinds, you have a very, very large section which are integrated by all the 4 aspects of culture. Culture expresses itself, 1 in language, 2 in terms of arts, 3 in terms of values, the common values which bind us together, the 4 by the rituals of living, which would mean that whether you wear a bindi or whether you wear a tiruniru or whether you, how you get married, how you look at your elders, whole lot of things. So these bouquet of culture, in a way, binds us in many ways. Some of you may not be able to speak Tamil, but you are Tamils at heart. What you're really meaning is the way you live. There's a distinctive identity that binds all of us. And may we, based on the umbilical cord of relationship, the Toppul Kudi Uravugal, அனைவரும் நம்மட்ட இருக்கிற common identity can we distill it out and base it to lend an identity for ourselves in the world of business. And I'm sure we will shape the economy of the world. Everybody says India is one of the 5 countries, which will shape the way the world economy will progress. The last 10 years of post-2008 meltdown till last year, the world grew at 2.2%. And there was a time the world actually grew at twice the growth rate of India, the first 30 years of Indian independence. We were growing at what euphemistically got called as the Hindu growth rate, which is 2-3%, while the world was growing at twice the pace. And in the last 20 years, India has grown at 2.5 times the world growth rate. And Tamil Nadu has always grown at a growth rate which is higher than India's growth rate in the last many years. And let me invite you to kind of invest in India, invest in Tamil Nadu. Let me encourage our friends from India to invest in the economies that you are giving shape to. சென்ற இடத்திலெல்லாம் வேர்பிடித்து நின்ற இடத்திலெல்லாம் மனம் பிறப்பிய இடத்திலெல்லாம் மகிமை கூட்டும் இனம் தமிழினம். அந்த ஒரு எண்ணத்தை மட்டும் நம்ம மனசில் வச்சுக்கிட்டு, that's the reason I think we are getting accepted everywhere. People who went as whatever the British wanted them to be grew out of that mold into the mold of entrepreneurs in every economy that we have been in. In every economy that we've been in, very, very few races have been able to achieve that, probably except the Jews. I can't think of a single race which, other than Tamil race, have been able to achieve that. And may us rediscover our basic DNA. And one of the Tamil movies recently, Elam Arivu, spoke about this whole idea of re-stimulating the DNA. He, of course, talks about many of the martial arts which the Tamil race had forgotten, and actor Surya talks about how you can stimulate it by creating certain experiences. I would like to offer in this forum, maybe it's time for us to create certain experiences of collective businesses, maybe cutting across boundaries. Can we create, for instance, a venture capital? For instance, the Tamil Venture Fund, which could be created by this forum. I'm sure with Dr. Sampath kind of initiative, we've been able to get people to meet together. If we can, I would surely like to look at all the 5 things that he suggested to the government what we should do. But I think I would suggest one thing for a structure for this conference method. Can we collectively create a Tamil venture capital fund, a Tamil private equity, which would invest in ventures cutting across boundaries, but would invest in ventures promoted by the Tamil diaspora and the Tamils around the world. Thank you very much for the opportunity.